How's it going, everyone? My name is Michael SK, and welcome back to Chaos Head Noah. I'm sure you all know what this song is. It's such a beautiful ringtone, truly. But for the past couple episodes, we've kind of just been running through the game again on our way into Nanami's route whenever that pops up. But mainly we've been focusing on delusions, getting a lot of the delusions that I didn't choose before or skipped over. And they've mostly been positive ones. If it's a positive that I know I chose before, I've been choosing the negatives. But for this run, we're just primarily doing the positive delusions, and then at the next run, we'll do primarily the negatives. Then the run after that, we'll try to just shoot for neutrals. And if we get a little further in the game, then I'll choose positive or negative and try to hit more of the delusions. I don't think we're gonna get them all, but I gotta try, right? And in the last episode, we hit some really weird ones. Actually, the previous two episodes had some really weird ones, but last episode really took the cake on some of them there. So here we'll also choose a positive delusion because I mainly don't remember what we chose before. I guess it was positive. Perfect. But unfortunately, there's no positive things that happened here, as you can see. Okay, yeah, I guess this is different. Lying in the foil was a phone identical to mine. A phone with blood splattered all over it. But there's no hand. I understood all too clearly what it meant. Well, there we go. I could no longer concentrate. Unable to take it anymore, I whipped open the door to my base and leapt outside. My whole body was exuding an insane amount of moisture, covering me in an unpleasant, greasy sweat. The nightly wind felt colder than usual. The moment my feet hit the chilly concrete, I immediately realized I wasn't wearing any shoes. I had to go. I had to do what Shogun had said. I had to go to O-Front. Obviously, I was scared, and obviously, I didn't want to go. All I wanted was to curl up in my room and hug my knees in fear. But I felt that if I didn't, something horrible would happen to Nanami. The tears refused to stop. Even if I wiped my eyes, my sight was still constantly blurred.
Nanami.
I wasn't expecting us to, jump right into Nanami's stuff right this early, to be honest. I thought we were going to do pretty much everything that Chapter 6 kind of laid out for us, and then maybe the beginning of Chapter 7, the normal Chapter 7, would bring us into Nanami's route, maybe, or something. But nope, I was wrong. My whimpers were even more pathetic than I'd expected them to be, to the point where I felt like throwing up. I shook my head back and forth, desperately trying to shove down the weakness welling up within me. Even the slightest amount of hesitation here would mean I'd never leave for O-Front. So I had no choice but to keep up the momentum. I'm too worried about Nanami, so I can't just stand around. And with that thought, I bolted away from my room. Don't lose this momentum. Make it to O-Front, and things might just work out. Hurry up and put your shoes on. After that, grab your Seraton figure as a good luck charm. And then run, just run. Run as hard as you possibly can. Right now, you're Nanami's only hope. I clenched my teeth, and then, right as I was moving back to my base to grab my shoes, I thought I heard something. I sprang up in surprise, and then when I turned toward where the sound had come from, I saw a person. Okay. Little weird. I'm gonna turn off the skip thing there. I don't think we're skipping anything anymore. Nanami. I rubbed my eyes and then took another look at her face. It was Nanami. I would know her face anywhere.
Nanami!
I rushed to her side. For some reason, she was completely naked. Her head hung toward the ground lifelessly, and I couldn't make out an expression on her face. Every few seconds, her slender body trembled.
Nanami!
And she's letting it all hang out there for some reason. Even though I'd rushed over to her, I still had absolutely no clue what had happened to her, nor what to do in response. All I could do was call her name over and over. What I really wanted to do was hug her, but the thought that she might think I was a pervert made me hesitate. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this is the time to like worry about hesitating and all that, you know. This is kind of a serious moment. Sluggishly, Nanami's head lifted up toward me. Her face was pale and her lips were somehow worse. It felt like she was on the verge of death. Her eyes were vacant and hollow, and yet when she looked toward me, I could see large tears spilling from the corners of them.
どうしたんだよお前大丈夫なの
In response to my question, she shook her head lightly from side to side.
ナナはなんでここにいるのよく思い出せないよ
In any case, I quickly looked her over to see if she was injured. Of course, I didn't want to seem like I was deliberately looking at anything I shouldn't. I mean, it wasn't like I was hot for my blood-related sister or anything. Seeing her naked didn't do anything for me in the slightest. Oh, game. Oh, game. Actually, you know what? Oh, Takumi. Oh, Takumi. At least you didn't seem injured? Wait, then whose blood was that on the cell phone? You know what? I would just worry about that later. I'll worry about that right now. I'll be the one that worries.
寒いから中に
I held out my hand to her. She was pretty slow to react. Her trembling showed no signs of stopping. She looked like a newborn fawn. Nanami grasped my hand. She was cold, so cold in fact that I unintentionally let out a yelp.
お前冷えすぎだろ
Bracing myself for her getting mad at me, I touched her bare shoulders. She was cold to the touch. Should I get a hot shower ready for her, or should I make her something hot to drink first? Regardless of which, I couldn't just leave her naked here. This wasn't a situation in which I could care about what she would think. Are we in a delusional state right now? Like, the screen is moving, or it was moving a lot there as if it was. I tried to pick the cleanest thing I could find to put on Nanami, but my lifestyle didn't exactly make that very easy. I didn't have many clothes for wearing in public at all, really. So reluctantly, I'd given her my brand new blood-tuned sweatshirt that I'd been hanging on to for safekeeping. Then I'd made her some instant coffee. Generally, coffee wasn't my thing, but I could remember Nanami bringing some over a long while back, saying Mom and Dad had made her. It hadn't expired quite yet, so it should have been fine. Nanami was sitting quietly on the sofa. She still looked pale, but her shivering had stopped. Seemed getting fresh clothes helped her body stabilize. I silently handed over the cup of coffee, and she meekly accepted it.
ありがとう
I wonder what happened. She wrapped the cup with both hands and stared fixedly at the surface of the dark liquid.
ブラックだね
砂糖とかミルクとかそんな気の利いたものはここにはないんだ
Likely understanding the situation, she pursed her lips and blew on the coffee. And then she slowly raised the cup to her mouth. Was she not good with hot things? Huh. I couldn't remember if she'd always been like that, though it didn't help that I never paid much attention to details like that to begin with. Nanami started chugging the coffee like her life depended on it. Her cheeks were turning rosier, so her body was probably heating up as it moved through her.
ねえこのコーヒー熱いよ
じゃあ飲むな
飲むけど
Incredible development. You can either whine or be honest, but you can't do both. Then again, her complaining was probably a sign that she was feeling better. Oh, here we go again. We're doing a lot of jumping back and forth from the moving screen here. But why? Finally, I managed to suck it up and ask her what was on my mind. When I'd seen the cell phone covered in blood, I thought for sure that Shogun had kidnapped her. But in the end, it turned out to be nothing. And now I had no reason to go to O-Front. I could just stay here with Nanami. I still didn't understand what happened though. Nanami had very clearly been naked outside. Her abnormally low body temperature was also puzzling. In response to my question, Nanami stared blankly into the cup.
わかんない。自分でもなんでお兄の部屋の前にいたのかよく思い出せないの。
Don't tell me. Did she have amnesia?
シワだらけの子供に会わなかった。車椅子に乗ってる怪しいやつなんだけど。
うん。
携帯なくしたような。
なくしたのかな。そもそもナの服どこに置いてきちゃったんだろう。
Yeah, it wouldn't really make sense for her to have her phone, but not her clothes. So yeah, she's not gonna have any idea where her phone is.
誰かにひどいことされなかったか。
ひどいことって？
Well, that's in more eroge terms, or eroge-like terms, you weren't raped or anything. But I could never say that out loud. I mean, I hadn't seen any injuries on her, so that didn't seem likely anyway. And now the blurry, wiggly screen or whatever the hell, that effect, is no longer happening. It's doing a lot of jumping back and forth with it, but why? As if she had just remembered something, her head shot up.
バングル。お兄にもらったバングルなくしちゃった。
Well, along with your clothes and your phone, yes.
そりゃ服も持ち物もないんだから。バングルもないだろ、常識的に考えて。
そうなんだけど。なんでだろう。バングルだけはなくしちゃったことを思い出して。
どこでなくしたの？
それはわかんないけど。
Nanami was really disheartened. She must have been thinking that it was gone for good and that we would never find it now. Hearing her story, well, it still didn't tell me a thing about what had happened. Should I take her to the hospital? Before that, maybe I should contact her parents. That way, they can come and pick her up. That's not gonna work.
ねえ、お兄。今日、ここに泊まっちゃダメ？
なんでだよ。
なんだかナナ混乱してて、わけわかんなくて。あんまり動きたくないよ。
Well, her usual volume was at an all-time low, so I didn't see an issue with her staying the night.
親には連絡しとけよ。
I approached the cardboard box that I had left in the corner. I then took out the blood-smeared cell phone. After carefully wiping down the phone with a wet wipe, I handed it to Nanami.
ナナの携帯だ。
これ送ってきたのってナナミなの
？Nanami tilted her head. It had been stupid of me to ask.
親に連絡したらシャワー浴びてこいよ。体温めた方がいいと思うし。
My shower was outside. It was a prefab shower of sorts, and it was situated right next to my container. I'd been forced to set up the drainage and whatnot myself, but it was more than usable. It was typically what I used after all, and since I didn't have a bathtub, I just used the nearby public bath whenever I was in the mood for something longer.
浴びてくる。ねえ、一緒に。
は？
Yeah, wait a minute, huh? Had my sister gone totally fucking bonkers? When she saw how taken aback I was, Nanami gave a strained laugh.
違うよ。一緒に入るわけないじゃん。でも、一人で外に出るの、なんだか怖くて。
Okay, I guess that makes sense. Randomly waking up outside completely naked with no idea how you got there or what happened to you must be pretty freaky.
だから、ナナがシャワー浴びている間、声が聞こえるところにいてほしいなって。ダメかな。
She pleaded at me with puppy dog eyes, but all it did was make me groan internally. This was bad. She was starting to turn ever so slightly moe.
わかったよ。
Since Nanami was feeling so weak, just for today, I would do the brotherly thing. Well, aren't we nice? Honestly, this... Wait, we fell asleep? This feels like a really weird mix of a delusion and reality. What was that? In my sleep, I'd faintly heard a noise. What exactly was it? And where had I heard it before? Oh, I know, it was a cell phone vibrating. Was someone trying to call me? Wait, someone was calling my phone. Was something that unusual actually happening, or was it the usual you may pass prank call that I've been getting lately? We got it twice, it's okay. If so, then no way was I answering it. I passed out for over an hour last time because of how eerie it had been. So I simply ignored the call and tried to fall back asleep. But now that I was aware of the noise, it was even harder than ever to drive it out of my mind. Whoever the caller was, they were persistent. Their calls kept coming one after the other. I opened my eyes, only to realize I was lying on the floor. Nanami ought to have been asleep on the couch, and yet she wasn't there. Where had she gone? The bathroom? Or had she canceled her plans to stay overnight and just headed back home? The cell phone continued vibrating all throughout my weak, groggy attempt at getting up. That had gone on for over 3 minutes now, wow. My answering machine should have kicked in, but I guess I had forgotten to set it up. Tired of the caller's sheer persistence, I grabbed the cell phone off my PC desk. The incoming call... Oh, beautiful. Was from a restricted number. Okay, then I had no idea who it was. I didn't really want to answer it, but...
もしもし。
Oh, it's Nanami, right?
誰?
It has to be.
お兄
It is. It was Nanami. I breathed a sigh of relief. Where the hell was she even calling from? It had only been a few hours. What happened to her being exhausted and not wanting to leave?
ナナミか。どこにいるんだ?
右手を
Oh no.
返してナナの右手
It's the same fucking line. It's the same line. What the fuck? It disconnected. Nothing she had said made any sense to me. Shut the fuck up. What the hell kind of prank was this? Fuck off, Nanami. God damn it, I felt stupid for even worrying. Since she seemed to be doing just fine now, I guess I didn't need to look for her after all. I was exhausted beyond belief, so I definitely didn't have the energy to deal with pranks. Lying back down, I tossed the phone away and closed my eyes. Quite the different reaction than the first time we received that call, huh? A little different.
朝だよほら起きて起きなさい
I would fucking kill myself if I woke up to that.
起きたらおはようのキスしてあげるからさ私何言ってんだろバカバカ今の忘れて
So you guys think I'm joking, but try
ちょ
me.
っといつまで寝てるんさこのボケナス
Waking to the sound of Saraton's voice, I noticed Nanami was still absent. Had she headed home without telling me? Or had she gone to school instead? What was the date today even? Did my attendance chart say this was a school day? My mind was caught in a haze. Man, I was still half asleep. What time was it right now? Without getting up from the floor, I continued being hazily lost in thought when... Oh, there she is.
あ、お兄やっと起きた
After opening the door, Nanami's face peered inside.
帰ったんじゃないのか?
帰ってないよ泊まるって言ったじゃん
ということはやっぱり昨日の深夜のあれはいたずらだったんだな。もう二度とやるな。
You guys are probably gonna hear my dogs right
いた
now.
ずら何のこと
Sorry. They're angry. I don't even know what's got them so upset, to be honest. I think my One of my big dogs are outside just barking away, and the rat dogs, they don't like it, so they gotta go defend the property or whatever dogs do. Nanami tilted her head, playing all innocent. Was she really gonna drag this out by pretending she hadn't done anything? Don't think you can trick me so easily, I'm not that stupid. All things considered, after taking the night to decompress and giving it a look with fresh eyes, I couldn't help but notice how dangerous Nanami's outfit was. It was just a big-ass sweater. Under that sweatshirt was of course nothing. Yep, nothing at all, completely commando. Every time Nanami moved her arms, the hem would ever so slightly lift, and each time it did, I swear I came this close to catching a glimpse of her unmentionables.
お兄、どこ見てんの？
どこも。
Nanami stretched the hem down, concealing her upper inner thighs.
そんな伸ばすな。そのトレーナー貴重なんだぞ。
ナナよりトレーナーが心配なんだ。お兄のバカ。言っとくけど、下着は履いてるもんね。
Oh, you do? Well, that's too bad. Oh, wait, I didn't mean that. Chill out, me. Don't get all horny over your sister. But wait, how the hell had she even gotten underwear? Well, at least she was back to her usual Nanami antics. That was something, I guess. She'd been feeble as hell, or as all hell yesterday, but maybe she'd gotten over it after a good night's sleep. There was a remarkably pleasant smell in the air. It smelled like someone was cooking bacon.
ねえねえ、お兄も朝ごはん食べる？
Yeah.
朝ごはん。
今作ってるんだけど。
My base's kitchen, well, its sink, was placed right next to the shower with no real care. For the record, I didn't get any gas up here. My solution to that was just use a portable stove that I'd gotten cheap from an online auction. But I never cooked my own meals, so it was likely stashed away in a corner or something. I guess Nanami must have gone through the trouble of digging it out of hiding. What the fuck?
メニューが。
サンドイッチとベーコンエッグ。
Damn.
ここのキッチンじゃあんまり凝ったもの作れないしね。それにお兄は貧乏舌だから、むしろシンプルなものの方がいいかなって。
My typical breakfast was just a combo of cola and a bean bun or something. It had been a real long time since I'd actually had anything decent. Yeah, well, I can one-up that. Well, probably not, but maybe equate that. My breakfast most mornings is quite literally a Pop-Tart and water. And that's it. That's it. Can anybody beat me? And besides, I couldn't help but revel in the bliss that my sister had cooked it herself, just for me. In my mind, this definitely made up for yesterday's prank.
よし。さっさと用意しろ。
うわー、偉そう。まったく、少しは感謝してよね。
止めてやったんだから。むしろそっちが感謝しろよ。
それもそうかも。じゃあ一応感謝感謝。
I assumed she was going to bow her head to me, but she didn't end up doing that. Instead, Nanami headed straight back outside with a smile on her face.
お兄、外で食べようよ。折りたたみ式のテーブルあったでしょ。それ持ってきて。
Damn it, the nerve of her putting a guy that had just woken up to work. If I did this but the food sucked, she was gonna have hell to pay. I'm sure it's fine. I think it's okay, maybe, or it's gonna be okay. I set up a small folding table and some chairs, the kind that you would use for camping and whatnot, and then waited about 5 minutes. When Nanami finally finished making the food, she carried it over to the table and set it down. At the very least, it looked pretty appealing. Nanami had been our mom's helper in the kitchen for as long as I could remember. Suffice it to say, her cooking skills were pretty passable. Well, she was definitely lucky because if she sucked at cooking, she wouldn't be able to pull the sheepish smile and the oopsie-daisy tee-hee. Only 2D girls had that right. I'd immediately go soft if my 3D sister did that IRL. Hell, I'd probably never talk to her again. This is fucking weird. Nanami flashed a smile as she sat down next to me.
なんで隣に座るんだよ。
She was really close. Our shoulders were almost touching. There was no way I could eat when she was this close. It would be too embarrassing. So I put a bit of space between us.
だってここに椅子が置いてあったんだもん。お兄が置いたんでしょ?
No, what? Well, yeah, I did, but the chair's just for camping. It's not even 30 centimeters tall, and it's light enough that even a girl could carry it with one hand. So it's not like it's a big deal to move it a little. Quit your bitching.
もういいよ。ほら、お兄、食べなよ。いただきまーす。
Nanami clapped her hands together and then hurriedly readied her chopsticks. Her appetite seemed to be a lot stronger than before. Just in general, really, she seemed to be doing way better now. The fact that she had been so weak at all yesterday almost didn't seem real. Though oddly enough, the more I thought about it, the more it felt like it didn't just seem not real, but that it actually hadn't been real. She had been lying, and naturally there was only a single reason for her to be lying.
大好きなお兄と一緒にいたくて嘘ついちゃったの。
Something along those lines? What kind of eroge did I think this was? Of course, I'd answer like so. But I refuse.
お兄、なんかニヤニヤしてる。また変な妄想でもしてた?
She'd hit the nail on the head, and my head instantly shot toward the table. Picking up a sandwich, I stuffed my mouth full.
うまい。
The ham sandwich had the perfect amount of mustard mayonnaise sauce. It was incredibly basic, just lunch meat sauce and bread. But considering I didn't stockpile any form of seasoning around here, it was pretty damn good. It's how I eat my sandwiches.
でしょでしょ。わざわざ朝早くに24時間やってるスーパーに行っていろいろ買ってきたんだよ。
Honestly, that's probably what I'm gonna eat here, like, after this recording session before it gets too late. Also, by the way, don't eat before you go to sleep. Terrible idea, but probably after this session, I'll probably make myself the same thing. Terrible idea to eat that before bed, though. Just remember, I got that drilled into my head recently. Terrible idea.
買ってきたって、その格好で、どんだけ知女なんだよ。
知女じゃないもん。このままで外歩けるわけないじゃん。ちゃんとお兄のズボン借りてそれ履いて行ってきたよ。下着だって買ってきたし。
Oh, so she'd bought herself some underwear. Meaning that until then, she hadn't been wearing any. No bra, no panties, only a sweatshirt and some pants. Now that was just wonderfully scandalous.
本当はこのトレーナーも着替えたかったんだけどさ、アニメの絵が描いてあって結構恥ずかしいし。でもお兄が着せてくれたんだから勝手に着替えちゃうのも悪いかななんて。
Mainstream women not understanding Saraton's appeal was exactly what made them so awful. That said, if I had to walk through Shibuya or even Akiba like that, I probably wouldn't have the guts.
それでお金は？
ちょうどね、借りたズボンに財布が入ってたから大丈夫だったよ。
I gawked. She'd really just said that while her small-ass mouth munched on some bacon. It all worked out. Like hell it all worked out.
その財布僕のだろ。僕の金使ったのかよ。
だってナナ、昨日お財布もなくしちゃったもん。
だからって勝手に使うなよ。
I voiced my complaints to Nanami, but she just wasn't listening. Dejected, I squished the half-cooked yolk in my bacon and eggs.
財布もなくしちゃったし、学校のカバンもどっか行ったし、それにバングルがなくなっちゃったのが一番ショック。
Yeah, I think I'm the one in pain here. Just because I've got loads of money sitting around from RMT doesn't mean I'm a fan of getting stolen from.
あんな安物のバングルなんかなくしたってどうってことないだろ。常識的に考えて。
Ah, come on, it's the sentimental value, Takumi. Besides, I'd given it to her for free of charge, so it wasn't like she'd suffered any damages, so why the hell was she so fixated on that stupid thing? Nanami squirmed in her seat.
だって初めてお兄からもらったプレゼントだったんだもん。すごく嬉しかったのに。
You're not fooling anyone. Saying cute shit isn't gonna make me forget about how you took my money without asking.
なのね、絶対見つけ出すから。なくしたままにしておくなんてできないよ。
For some reason, she tightly clenched her fists as she said that. As I inadvertently watched her do so, my eyes drifted toward the cuff of her right hand and landed on a white bandage. A bandage that gave me an awful, awful feeling.
その包帯。
あ、これ？
When I pointed it out, Nanami took the time to roll up her sleeve and show it off. There was definitely a bandage on her right wrist, even though yesterday, back when she'd been cowering next to my base completely naked, there had been no such thing.
右手を返して。ナナの右手。
Want to know what I think this could be? I think this is like a delusion forced upon us. It's one of those situations, like from a porter, because we did come across a very similar Nanami when we were near the end of the common route. Oh, I see. This was a continuation of yesterday's prank, wasn't it? Pretty damn elaborate plan. What the hell was she thinking, or was she trying to accomplish, though?
そんな包帯外せよ。いたずらにしたって悪趣味だよ。
いたずらなんかじゃないよ。朝起きてから右手がちょっとズキズキするの。原因はわかんないけど、とりあえず包帯買って巻いたんだ。
ズキズキ痛むのに包帯だけ巻いたって意味ないだろ。
包帯だけなわけないじゃん。ちゃんと湿布も貼ったよ。
だったら湿布だけでいいじゃないか。わざわざ包帯を巻く意味がわからない。
そうだけど、ほら、病は気からって言うし。
That is true. What are you even trying to say? And I'm pretty sure you reversed those.
いいから取れよ。
No, those weren't reversed. Well, I guess you could see it either way. I mean, if your body is healthy, your mind is probably a lot more clear. But if you have a good mentality, then you're not going to feel as terrible as you might have, maybe from like a flu or a cold or something like that. Because in the end, it's all in the state of mind. Like, sure, your body is fighting something, like you're going to feel some pain, but your mentality is going to give you that level of pain. So however you feel may reduce that level of pain. I'm kind of talking out of my ass because I've never been able to have a good mentality when feeling sick. So who knows if that's true. Despite the fact that I was acting rude on the outside and also gulping down my sandwich, on the inside my heart was pounding out of my chest. I was probably just overthinking things, but if the phone call from Nanami yesterday hadn't been a prank, then Nanami being sick really had just been an act, and in reality something really bad was going on with her, something she was trying to hide from me.
もう、ほんと、わがままなお兄だな。
Despite looking reluctant, Nanami undid the bandage. I was confused by her surprising obedience. I guess I really had just been overthinking things. Looking away from her arm for a second, I brought some bacon and eggs to my mouth.
はい、取ったよ。
What's it gonna be? Is it gonna be the fucking, like, the writing of whose eyes are those eyes again? I gulped once, and then slowly my sister's arm took over my sight. Underneath the bandage, it was as normal as could be. Not a scratch on her, not even any internal bleeding. She'd even bothered to take the wet compress off, even though I hadn't asked her to. I grabbed Nanami's hand and brought my face in for a closer inspection.
お兄？
傷なんてない。何にもない。
あるなんて一言も言ってないよ。ズキズキするんだって説明したじゃん。
Oh, I guess you did. I knew I'd just been overthinking things. I guess that email yesterday from Shogun had still been on my mind, leading me to freak out at anything even remotely suspicious. Wait, what the fuck?
くそ お前の腕湿布さ。
I couldn't help but grimace as I let go of Nanami's arm.
そんなの当たり前じゃん。女の子に臭いって言うなんて最低。バカ鬼。
うるさい。さっさと飯食って学校行け。
I had no interest in wasting any more valuable time with Nanami's annoying nitpicking bullshit.
そっか、学校か。でも制服ないのにどうやって行こう。
確かに。
今日は学校休んで家に帰ろっと。ブラウスとスカートの替えはあるけど、ブレザーはどうしよう。新しく買ってもらうしかないかな。
As Nanami continued muttering to herself about what her plans were, I gave her one last sidelong glance, wolfed down the rest of my breakfast, and then went back into the container house. This is all really weird, because I'm still at this... Oh, okay.
28日未明、渋谷区小東の路上で男性の変死体が発見されました。
Oh, yeah? Okay, before we get into that, I was going to mention, this is all still pretty weird because I'm trying to figure out, how is this taking place? Like, I brought this up before. Is this a delusion we're having? Is this another visual novel route in the visual novel sort of way? Is this just another world line because Steins Gate is a thing? Or is this all canon somehow?
被害者は練馬区に住む橋谷康之さん31歳で、死因は異物を喉に詰まらせたことによる窒息死とみられています。
Okay, well this is very, very different.
被害者の口にはハサミで細かく切り刻まれた大量の布が詰め込まれており、また胃の中からも同様の布が多数見つかりました。警察の発表によりますと、布は渋谷区にある私立水明学園の女子冬用制服である可能性が高いとのことです。
Ah.
水明学園は現場から徒歩で3分ほどの距離にあり、警察では事件との関連を調べています。
Did I say dominatrix? Another new case, and since it couldn't have been just a normal murder, a girl's winter uniform from Suame had been cut up with scissors and jammed into the victim's throat, choking him. Yeah, kind of coming together there, ain't it? Oh god, was that uniform Nanami's? It had to be. It couldn't just be a coincidence. The timing was too perfect. It really was Shogun. Whatever that guy's goal was, it must have involved kidnapping Nanami and tearing off her uniform. That asshole was 100% trying to provoke me. I was next. I was gonna be the next person to die.
お兄、どうしたの？
Nanami called out from behind me, nearly making me tumble out of my chair. Well, there goes all that tension.
顔色悪いみたいだけど。
ななみ。
I reached a hand out to Nanami.
僕は殺される。
殺されるって、そんな冗談やめてよ。
本当なんだ。間違いない。あいつは次こそ僕を狙ってくる。ななみごめん、僕のせいであいつはお前のこと誘拐して。僕はどうすれば。怖い。怖いよ。
As pathetic as it was to do this in front of my sister, my heart couldn't take it anymore. I wanted to cling to someone who could protect me. I hadn't heard a thing from Rimi lately. Ayase was hospitalized. There wasn't anyone else to protect me. But right as I thought that, Nanami gently took hold of my outstretched hand.
もう、本当にはダメだな。一人じゃ何にもできないんだから。きっとゲームのやりすぎで疲れてるんだよ。今日はパソコンはやらずにソファーで横になってた方がいいよ。
僕を一人にしないで。
わかったから。お兄を一人になんかしないよ。
本当？
昨日はナナがお兄に優しくしてもらったから、そのお礼。
ななみ。
At the end of the day, family really was who you should keep closest. Whenever you actually needed something, someone or everyone else would disappear on you. They were all useless where it actually mattered. The only thing that could well and truly support me in my time of need was family. Nanami lending me a hand was such a relief. I could barely keep myself from bursting into tears. I clung to Nanami's hand.
甘えん坊だね、お兄って。これじゃあナナがお姉さんで、お兄が弟みたいだよ。
うるさいな。
はいはい。よしよし。
Nanami jokingly pat my head. It might have only been a bit of messing around in Nanami, but to me right now, the feeling was immensely comforting.
ななみ、頼みがある。
何？
その、
Normally, Nanami and I only ever got into arguments, excuse me, so it was pretty embarrassing to ask her for a favor, but I couldn't bring myself to care about that right now.
今日も、
なんでそこで黙っちゃうかな。ちゃんと言ってくれなきゃわかんないってば。
今日も、泊まっていってくれ。
I'd feel a little more at ease if she did. I couldn't stand the thought of staying in this room all alone, completely terrified of Shogun. But Nanami would probably be against it. She'd likely call me a pervert for it, especially since I had had so much trouble saying it. I nervously turned to Nanami, expecting that reaction.
なんだ、そんなことか。別に何泊したっていいよ。
本当？
一応、ナナだってお兄の心配はしてるんだからね。さすがに、今のお兄を放っておけないよ。
ありがとう。助かる。
Are we, though? Thank God, family really is the best. No, my blood-related little sister, she's the best. Oh, Nanami, I'm so glad we're related. And really, if she got rid of that bratty side of her, she would 100% be the ideal little sister. Oh man, something bad is gonna happen. Something that will bring us back to the sick reality that was this game. This game and its story. But we'll wrap it up there. See what happens next time. Yeah, we're in the Nanami route. All right. Well, I'm again just very hesitant. Like there's no reason to feel comfortable here. 100% no reason to feel comfortable. But I am curious to see where this will go, and I don't know what these character routes will provide us, but hopefully we get something out of them, and hopefully we figure out how they're really placed in the grander scheme of things. But thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy.